Mbale is a busy regional centre situated at the foothills of Mount Elgon. It's a vibrant place, a place of commerce and community. But life in Uganda generally is hard. The roads are barely adequate, and few people can afford the luxury of a car. As a result, the main form of transport is a heavy-duty bicycle known as a boarder, which is used to carry people and goods all around the area. It's amazing what can be carried on the back of a bicycle. In this picture, it's matoke, a kind of savoury banana that Ugandans cook while it's still green. Just outside Mbale is the Bungokho Rural Development Center. The word Bungokho means the place of the chicken, so there was probably some kind of poultry farm here once upon a time. But things are a bit different now. This sign includes the project's mission statement, helping people help themselves. The centre is owned by Church Army Africa and is currently run with the assistance of Bob and Rosalind Arnold, who are CMS mission partners. Bungokho is situated on about 14 acres of land, which was gifted to the Church Army some years ago. The first project to be started on the site was a nursery school. Primary education in Uganda is free, resulting in often very large classes. It's not unusual to find classes of 100 children or more. So parents like their children to go to a nursery school to get a good start in their education. Many of the children at Bungokho arrive at school on the back of a bicycle or a boarder. There are about 90 children in the Bungokho nursery school, together with 4 staff. PE is always the first activity of the morning, while it's still relatively cool. And then the morning workout is followed by class singing, which helps the children to become familiar with English, the official language of a country with more than 80 local languages. It's really valuable for children to get an early grounding in what is to them an alien and difficult language. The staff of the centre are well aware that one of the best ways of helping people to help themselves is to teach them a trade, so that they can support themselves and their families by their own efforts. The first vocational training course to be offered at Bungokho was tailoring. The centre is never short of students who want to learn a skill that they can use in their families as well as to make a living. Here we can see students becoming involved in real hands-on activities as they put a new roof on a kitchen block. This kitchen is part of a new community training facility that has been built by students and which will be available to the whole community around Bungokho. Another very important aspect of life at Bungokho is the working demonstration farm, which provides excellent practical experience for agriculture students. The farm exists to teach local people how to make the best use of the resources they have. They're taught how to rotate crops, how to put goodness back into the soil, and they're shown how to grow alternatives to traditional home crops that can be sold for a good profit, like pineapples and a fast-growing variety of coffee bean. People are encouraged to grow a larger crop than is required just for their family. That way, they'll have something to eat and something to sell. Bungokho is also working hard to improve the standard of local goats, which tend to be rather small. For a few shillings, local people can bring their goats to the centre for a basic health check, and where females can be served by much larger, stronger goats owned by the centre. These are 2 Boer goats brought in from South Africa. They grow much larger than the local goats and are sold for their meat. These improved goats are crossed with local ones. The centre started with 15 goats and now there are about 50, providing a substantial genetic pool. The centre also hosts a number of ducks, which can usually be found on one of Bungokho's 2 fish ponds. At night, the ducks roost in a hut that is suspended over the pond. Their droppings are food for algae, which in turn feeds the fish. Rabbit farming is another idea that the centre is trying to promote. Rabbits are easy to keep and provide meat to eat and sell. In the home, they can be easily looked after by the children of the family. Chickens are another easy to keep and profitable form of farming. Naturally, their eggs are an excellent source of protein. Another rather exciting project at Bungokho is the tree nursery. Deforestation is a huge problem in Uganda because of the wood that is needed for cooking fires. Every year, the Bungokho Tree Nursery sells over 30,000 tree saplings to help combat this problem. In this picture we can see Zita grafting a sweet orange bud onto a lime rootstock. Bees are another important part of farm production. Over 15% greater crop yields can be achieved because of the pollination activity of bees, and of course their honey is a great cash crop. A number of local village groups attached to Bungokho have started to keep bees in this way. And that reference to village groups takes us to the last, but by no means least, aspect of Bungokho's work. The centre employs a team of community development workers, headed up by Jimmy Magombe. Jimmy and his team head out into the surrounding countryside, where they work with local groups of mainly women. The community team encourages these women to come together and form cooperative groups. The women are encouraged to bring a small amount of money to the group, perhaps as little as 10 pence a week, or each time they meet. And that collected money forms a small fund, owned and managed by the women themselves, which can be used for a variety of purposes they agree together. These children represent the kind of families that Bungokho is trying to help. Their parents struggle to find money to clothe them, feed them, or pay for their medical bills. Another vitally important community project is the provision of wells for village communities, saving village women many hours of walking to retrieve water from often polluted water sources. Here we can see divining being taught to local people. Divining is a rather mysterious process that no one really understands, but so far the Bungokho team have had a 100% success rate of finding water using these simple metal rods. Here we can see a well at the beginning of the process. A 1-metre drainage culvert is placed on its end, and then teams of local villagers start digging until the ring of the culvert is at ground level. Then more culverts are placed on top in sequence. Earth is drawn out using a simple bucket and rope. Eventually, as much as 10 or 12 metres later, water is found. That water can then be brought to the surface using a similar rope and bucket. Each well costs around £600 in materials, which of course villages cannot afford themselves. However, with the generous support of many people around the world, village after village in the Mbale district is beginning to reap the benefits of clean water. You know, Bungokho is an amazing place. It's a place of vision, a place of sharing, a place where God is truly at work. It's a place where people really are being helped to help themselves.